It is truly one of the best times of the year to be a gamer. We have show after show after show. And honestly, with PlayStation Show just ending, aka their state of play, where they rented theaters out for a show that a lot of people thought was a little mid, we also have Xbox coming up and having one of their biggest showcases in their history. We have new leadership in Asha Sharma and Matt Booty. We have new games coming up. And of course, we have that big Gears of War reveal that's going to happen for like 45 minutes after the show. Yet, the big question is, what else are you going to show? What are the surprises that Xbox have? There's a lot to actually cover with this because Xbox has so many studios, it's a little embarrassing to the point of, I want to know what everybody is doing. So there's a lot of leaks out there. Let's go through all of them, talk about all the big games that might be coming, and then get a few predictions and what we think Xbox could do to really stand out. Because let's be real, the competition is there. Sony tried to put their best foot forward, rent out theaters, talk about all of this stuff, make sure that their biggest games like Wolverine and the new God of War is there. You could tell that they're waiting to get people onto their platform. They're trying to push for that. And Xbox should be doing the exact same thing. Get the people to buy your game because it's a very, very competitive 2026, especially towards the end of the year. So let's get into everything that's said and what's leaked because Xbox, you have a big show ahead of you and you need to gather as many people around your show as you can. So let's get into it. All right, so you know the drill. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps out the channel more than you know. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to talk about the show. I want to just jump right into it, kind of give you an overview of what's going on because Jez Corden from Windows Central wrote an awesome article kind of talking about what to expect from Xbox. And the first thing we need to know is that Xbox is going to be using E3 as kind of a marker for what to expect in the next 12 months from Xbox and the content creators they have there, aka the studios and developers. So let's get into what he had to say. Xbox CCO Matt Booty recently confirmed that the Xbox Showcase will largely feature titles slated for the next 12 months. Microsoft has been burned in the past by announcing projects too early, occasionally for them to be subsequently canceled. Perfect Dark is one such example, but Elder Scrolls 6 is perhaps the most legendary of these. Elder Scrolls 6 was announced almost a decade ago at this point. As such, I wouldn't expect to see Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 here, sadly, as neither are likely to come out in the next 12 months. But maybe we could catch a glimpse at the long-rumored Fallout 3 remake. So I kind of want to just stop there really quick because it is true. Xbox has announced so many games that have been canceled. Let's just be real. Perfect Dark was one of those that studio just got absolutely gutted because they couldn't just find a good direction. The leadership there just wasn't cutting it, so they got rid of it. Of course, Elder Scrolls was announced almost 10 years ago, but I'm not sure that was during the Xbox era of owning Bethesda. Bethesda just did that because they knew Starfield was so far out and people were clamoring for Elder Scrolls that they just kind of announced it. I feel to almost garner attention for Xbox to buy them, funny enough. That's what I think it was. I think they're like, oh, look, Elder Scrolls, and look how much traction we got with it. And of course, they got a lot of traction and people were hyped for it. But it's been, what is it now? 15 years since we got a proper Elder Scrolls game and another 10 or 11 years since we got a proper Fallout game. I'm not expecting much from them, but hopefully we get something else from the other studios within ZeniMax, which the article brings up here. Since we're already talking about Bethesda, I'd love it if we could see new projects for Machine Games or id Software. I think we could finally see Doom the Dark Ages DLC, which was touted as sequel size. Could we also catch a glimpse of Machine Games' rumored PvP multiplayer shooter? Rumors suggest that it is a tactical affair in the vein of Counter-Strike or Rainbow Six Siege, and it seems likely we could finally catch a glimpse of it. I'm sure people would be interested in see Wolfenstein 3 too, although I expect it's still a bit too early. This is actually kind of weird for me because I'm looking forward to Doom the Dark Ages DLC. I love Doom the Dark Ages. I don't care what anybody says. I know people didn't like that game. Whatever. I loved it. I played the hell out of that game. It was so much fun. I enjoyed just being kind of a tank and not running and gunning, but more charging and gunning. It was just a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And as for the other ones, kind of like the Machine Games rumored PvP multiplayer shooter, again, I don't know how that's going to be. I mean, they dropped Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six Siege as kind of a comparison. That's pretty big shoes to fill. Those are some of the biggest games out there right now, especially Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is one of the biggest games in the world. So I don't know if it's going to get that kind of, I guess, attention, but I don't think that Machine Games should be making a PvP multiplayer shooter. Stick to like things that you were doing, like Indiana Jones. I really enjoyed that game. I thought it was very well done. But Machine Games, man, if you're going to go towards PvP multiplayer, I don't know, stop chasing that trend. Stick with the single player. You do pretty good at those. Now, Wolfenstein 3. This is going to get a lot of people irritated. I don't know if this is happening, to be quite honest. I don't know. I know Wolfenstein 1 and 2 are great. I love them. I played them. I beat them. I just don't see it really garnering any traction. A lot of people didn't buy the Wolfenstein games. That's the reason why 3 isn't been in development. I mean, the last one came out in 2017. That was 9 years ago. So if there is a 3, I'll be happy. I'll be excited. Cool. Let's get it. Move on. I'll play it. I'll enjoy it. But I don't think it's something that's in the works. And it's one of those things I hope I'm wrong. I hope people clip this and be like, oh, I thought you said it wasn't in the works. Hey, I'll be happy to be wrong with that one. Let it be in the works. I want to see that game come out. I want to play Wolfenstein 3. So, hey, maybe we will. But let's jump back into the article and see what else they think is coming. One thing I'm expecting to see is Blade from Arcane. Arcane is known for the Dishonored franchise most prolifically, but the studio hasn't had a hit in quite some time. Tied to the Marvel IP, Blade is a huge opportunity for Xbox to find itself a superhero-sized hit akin to PlayStation's Spider-Man or the excellent-looking Wolverine. It still might be too early for this one, though. Blade's been out there for a little while. There was a trailer on it, and it's the first kind of jumping forward point for Microsoft where they're actually going to reach into other IPs they don't own and make games out of them. It's been rumored for years that people think Xbox needs a superhero game like a Spider-Man, like a Wolverine that PlayStation has. And I know it's not console war stuff, but it's more so of why do they get that game and Xbox doesn't get anything? There was apparently a mandate back in the day where Phil Spencer or the leadership at Microsoft just didn't want to spend the money on IPs they didn't own and invest in IPs they didn't own, which, okay, I get that, but sometimes you need to step out of your comfort zone, take a risk, and put the money forward to jump into something that can be very good for your platform and the gamers a part of your platform. I wouldn't mind them jumping onto Blade. I hope this game is awesome because Blade's an awesome character and it could be brutal. Blade's not a kid's book. It's a comic book, I understand, but it's not kid friendly. It's very brutal. He's like cutting vampires' heads off. It's a pretty brutal game and I'm looking forward to it. The only thing I have to say, Xbox doesn't have a good track record with vampires, man. I'm just saying, Redfall, woof. So hopefully they don't jump on that grenade again. Hopefully they make it an actual pretty good, IP like Blade and hit it out of the park. Arcane, and I wonder who was behind that Redfall. I think it was Arcane. Just saying, guys. Let's not have that happen again. Let's jump back into the article, though. Microsoft also has a variety of other projects more than likely to show up here. Clockwork Revolution from Exiles, almost definitely a lock. Microsoft's coming soon to Game Pass layer recently showed Clockwork Revolution before being removed. And Exiles BioShock-esque steampunk shooter already looks like a winner, and we should see more of it at the showcase. Fable got delayed to avoid Grand Theft Auto 6, but we're probably getting a deeper look into some of the systems during the show. First things first, I think Clockwork Revolution looks awesome by Exile. I think it's one of their biggest games, the most ambitious game they have. I trust that studio because they just know how to write good games. They know what they're doing. They're kind of scrappy almost. Reminds me, I know it's going to be a terrible comparison. It reminds me of Obsidian Entertainment, where they were independent for so long that they kind of made do with the people they had, and they did what they had to do to keep the lights on, so they're scrappy in that sense. And now that they got the money from Microsoft, it seems like they know how to use that money and make it go pretty far. Clockwork Revolution, I think, is going to be a massive game. I think a lot of people are going to give it that BioShock-esque, kind of treatment. So I have high hopes for this game. I think it's going to hit it out of the park. I don't know about sales and all of that, but I think it could be one of those like cult classics that we talk about in 5 or 6 years where people really love that game. Now, for Fable, it got delayed. Okay, they kind of got out in front of that. They wanted to get that bad news out. It seemed like that Matt Booty interview was really to just kind of unload all the bad news of, hey, there's going to be different logos there, and we're going to have people from other platforms kind of promote their games, and you can play your game anywhere, and all that. That was a backlash with Logo Gate. And then they were like, Fable's going to get delayed, and it's going to go into 2027. We really wanted to give it the room to breathe, and I can't blame them. Getting away from GTA 6 is kind of a smart move. but I don't need a deeper look into the game because you just had that developer direct in like February, January, whatever it was. So I don't think we need more Fable. Maybe show more of the combat. I know I'm one of those people that didn't like the combat, so maybe show a little bit more of that, and then we can go on from there. But let's jump into the article, see what else it has to say. I'm also expecting we might see what mysterious studio Elsewhere Entertainment has been working on. Activision quietly set up Elsewhere a couple of years back, and job listings offered hints that the team is working on some kind of narrative action adventure title. I predict that we'll see it revealed for the first time at this year's show, probably slated for late 2027. Yeah, this is another studio that we know nothing about. Nobody knows what's happening here. We don't know what it's building, and if it is a big reveal, I'm hoping it's something big because Activision kind of swings for the fences. They don't just make studios to just make studios. It's usually a Call of Duty studio, or it's going to go to Blizzard to build something else. I'm looking forward to this. It does seem like Blizzard and Activision, that ABK deal is turning into something a little bit more meaty, where we might get something other than Diablo, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty. I mean, I'm naming all these big franchises and they're kind of awesome, but I'm saying that they might make something new. I don't know what this is. I don't want to speculate. I hope it's an awesome action adventure game that turns into a new IP. I think Xbox needs new IPs. I think that would be awesome. Something like a Clockwork or all these other studios are building. Make new IPs so people can love them. And then the article goes into State of Decay 3. It's almost certain we'll see State of Decay 3 at the showcase too, given that it's already in private alpha testing with a small subset of community alongside some YouTubers. And from what I've heard, it sounds like Undead Labs really nailed the AAA feel that was absent from State of Decay 2. I'm particularly excited for this one. State of Decay 2 actually did very well. A lot of people don't know that. It got a lot of support. A lot of people backed it. The developers supported it. It made a lot of money. I remember it sold really well when it first came out, and this is when it was buggy as hell. I remember a bunch of people having issues with it, including myself, where it would crash all the time. You'd have glitches, but over time, it kind of made it into a pretty decent game where people enjoyed it. It's not my cup of tea, I will say that. I'm not into the survival horror and just like go out there, scavenge and build. It's not my cup of tea, so I'm hopeful it's good, and maybe it's something I might want to jump into, but it's not something that I'm super excited for. Let's go on to the other studios that might not even show up. On other studios, I'm not expecting much from Rare, Obsidian, Compulsion, Ninja Theory, or Double Fine at the moment. I've heard Ninja Theory and Double Fine have more ambitious projects in the works following Hellblade 2, Kiln, and Keeper. I expect it might be too early to catch a glimpse of what some of these studios are working on, particularly if Xbox wants to stick to its next 12 months preview. Blizzard titles, like the long-rumored StarCraft shooter, are also likely being kept for BlizzCon 2026 in September too, but it would be pretty hyped to get a teaser for it here, with a view of asking people to tune into BlizzCon for the full review. All right. I'm going to start from the top. I don't expect anything from Rare. Sea of Thieves is an amazing game, one of my favorite games of the gen. I think that they are an amazingly talented studio that hasn't released anything in, 8 years. So I don't know what's happening there, and they feel like a studio that is like one of those things that Asha mentioned, the hard decision. What's happening over there? You haven't released anything. Sea of Thieves isn't making a crazy amount of money anymore. You had that big, huge hit in Sea of Thieves. What else do you got cooking for us? I think you need to, it's going to start becoming the what have you done for us lately type of conversation with Rare. Obsidian actually had a pretty good press conference, what was it, like November, December, where they talked about how their games didn't really hit. Avowed didn't meet expectations in sales, neither did the Outer Worlds 2. So they're a little bit of we're trying to retrain how we market and make our games to kind of hit a broader audience. And I think they need to do that. I love this studio. I loved Avowed. I put like 90 hours in it. But again, one of those hard conversations. What are you doing? Why are we giving you this big budget? And what's happening? Compulsion just won Game of the Year in Canada for South of Midnight, I guess. I played that game. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun, original, but we'll see what happens there. I think they're one of the studios that Xbox seems to like. Like, they see promise in them. And I have to admit, there might be some promise after South of Midnight. I didn't think it was the greatest game in the world, but I did think that they jumped up pretty high in quality compared to We Happy Few to South of Midnight. So I'll give them props for that. Now, Ninja Theory and Double Fine. I gotta say, these two studios don't really make my type of games. I do not like Hellblade at all. I just find it very boring. It's a walking sim to me. Some combat here and there, but I'm bored at the end of the day. Double Fine makes all these fun, cool games that people like Kiln that nobody played. And then, of course, there's Keeper, which I don't know anybody that played that at all. Like anybody that played these last 2 games. I know Psychonauts is really loved, but Double Fine is one of those things I think they're going to have hard conversations. And I think they're stationed in San Francisco. So that's a very expensive place to be. And you're paying those developers top dollar to live there and be there. And then the rent, all of these things add up. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Now with the big one, I have to say, StarCraft, please be there. Anything from StarCraft, I would jump for joy and it would make the show for me. Anything Blizzard with StarCraft, I'm there. And I hope it's there. I hope they tease it so I can get over it and everybody can stop talking about it. Or BlizzCon looks like it's going to be a huge show, everybody. I'm not going to even front. Diablo's developers, I've talked about it. WoW's developers, I've talked about it. Overwatch, even StarCraft developers. It looks like BlizzCon's going to have a lot of surprises, and I hope it's a banger show. That's another show that I'm looking at towards September that I'm like, man, this is even Xbox here. Let's see what they can do. But let's get into some of the kind of announcements that we know. We know that the campaign Evolved is coming, the Halo one. That's going to be floating around. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. I'm kind of like, whatever. It's an older game. I've played Halo 1 so many times. So it's not something that I'm going to be jumping for joy for. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll play it on PC. I'll see what it looks like. I'm going to have fun with it, but it seems like it's almost a tech demo for that studio to get familiar with UE5, because I think that's where it's under. It's under UE5 is where they built that, and that's where they're going to go for the next Halos, I'm assuming. So who knows? Maybe we get an announcement of another Halo while they bring this one out to give people kind of here's a taste of what we're doing in the tech side for Halo Campaign Evolved, and then this is what we're going to do for the future. But of course, they're going to end it with Gears of War E-Day, which is my most anticipated game of the year. I don't care. Next to Wolverine and GTA, this is right up there, if not above all of them. Gears of War is one of my favorite franchises. I cannot wait for this. It's always been something that people wanted to really kind of look forward to. Is like, hey, can we see the Gears E-Day? Like what happened? Like what happened to humanity during E-Day? And we're going to live it. We're going to play it. And I think it's going to be devastating. I mean, the human race almost went extinct there in that game. So you're going to see some devastating things, some epic stuff, global war that looks insane. And I hope they knock this out of the park, because I want it to feel like E-Day. I want to feel the fear that you felt in Gears 1. I want that passion in. And this is a pillar of their franchises. This is one of the biggest franchises in gaming. Don't mess this up, please. I'm really looking forward to this. You have it on a silver platter. Everybody wants E-Day. Just make it awesome, make it banger, and just let Marcus and Dom do what they do. Just honestly, it's pretty much easy. But let's get into the Wildcards. Here's what the article says. What about wildcard announcements? Microsoft has a vast mountain of IP it could tap into. Thanks to the Activision purchase, it has access to Skylanders, Guitar Hero, Hexen, and vast libraries of other titles potentially waiting for a revival. Microsoft is working with external studios already for games like Minecraft Dungeons 2, which we'd also see at the showcase. Perhaps there are some other external partners waiting to show off new projects too. Could it finally be the year for Banjo? Well, maybe not. I'll be honest, I don't care about Banjo, and I'm a little bit against the let's go back and go to an old franchise and bring it over. I don't really care for that. I want to see something new. I would love it if you just get some creative people together, even some of the new studios that you have, like they were talking about the one at Activision, make a new IP, make us something different that we can look forward to. Because right now, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of new IPs out there. This feels like the generation of either sequels or remasters. And yes, I'm even talking about PlayStation. Sequels, remasters, that's all we're getting. And it's years away till Sony brings out some of their new IPs like Intergalactic. And Xbox has Clockwork Revolution and a couple of other ones coming through. But keep taking swings and risks on new games. That's what everybody wants to see. They want to see those big games that are new and IP and exciting that people could get really into and kind of build a new world around. That's where I think that sweet spot is. If you hit one of those IPs, man, it's so profitable, and it really does set the tone for the generation for a lot of people. And we're so far into the gen, and I don't feel like there's been an IP that's done that. I just don't. Everything's been sequels and everything's been remasters. So hopefully you do something different there. But also there's going to be maybe some new hardware there. Like they said Xbox Helix isn't going to be there, but maybe there's the Xbox Elite Controller 3 that might be there, and a couple other things with consoles and maybe handhelds. Who knows? They don't seem like they want to talk about hardware. This Matt Booty has said is all about the games. So make it about the games and bring some new IPs, and also bring some games that people are excited for. and excited to be on the Xbox platform. I think that's so important for a lot of reasons. But let me know what you think. I actually think this is going to be a really big show, and I think it's going to be good. Also, the new CEO of Xbox never misses a beat or eyeballs. She doesn't put an event to waste. I think she's going to announce something. I think she's going to bring a lot of games and really show what Xbox is going to look like for the next 12 months. But I do have to say, this is fair warning, a lot of these games are kind of Phil Spencer certified, because these are the games that were under him and Sarah Bond, where they kind of greenlit them. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of games from Asha and what her plans are for Xbox until next year, if not the year after, where we see some of the games that she greenlit this year leading into next. So just fair warning, people, you want to be ready for that this is going to be very similar to what we've seen, but I think there's going to be a few little twists here and there that Asha and Matt Booty want to put in to kind of put their stamp on what Xbox is going to be. But let me know what you think about this. Are you excited for the game show? Are you excited for Xbox to actually bring some of these games out? And what's your most anticipated game? Is it a surprise game? Is it something that you don't think is going to be there? Or is it Gears of War like me and you're just looking forward to that? Let me know down below, because that's what we're here to do, is to talk games. And of course, hit me up on Twitter at Zalker87. You can follow me there. I'm always talking games and trying to share as much stuff as I can. Get involved with the community. And you can follow me at Xbox, Zalker87. And of course on Steam and PlayStation, Zalker87. Look forward to everybody there. And as for games I've been playing, Forza Horizon 6 took over my life, so that's what I've been playing. And of course, Lego Batman. That game is so fun. I can't believe a Lego Batman really showed what the fans wanted, which was another Arkham type of game with Batman, maybe way more grand, and that's exactly what this Lego game is doing. It's so good. I've enjoyed it so much. So let me know what you're playing down below, and of course your predictions. And that's all for now. And until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.